So, have you ever given absolutely everything to pull someone out of a deep, dark hole? You supported them, defended them, maybe even floated them some cash, or just poured all your emotional energy into keeping them afloat. But then, as the dust settles, this strange, heavy mystery unfolds. The very person you saved doesn't just pull away, they actually turn against you. It's wild, right? Maybe you helped a friend land a job, and now they're constantly picking apart your career. Or you loaned a relative a huge chunk of change to save their business, and suddenly, boom, ghosted. They stop speaking to you entirely. It is just a profoundly disorienting experience. You're left standing there, scratching your head, wondering how your greatest act of generosity turned into such incredible hostility. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to unpack the deeply uncomfortable psychology behind this exact phenomenon. Why do the people you help often end up betraying you? Look, it's a question that haunts so many generous people, and if you've ever lived through this, I really want to validate you right now. You aren't naive, you aren't crazy, and you definitely didn't imagine it. You've simply stumbled onto a pretty dark, hidden reality of one-sided relationships. It's a truth that the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche actually understood over a century ago, and honestly, it's a truth most people just do not want to hear, because it completely shatters our romanticized views of gratitude. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to explore the hidden psychology of gratitude, ego, and the disturbing reality of human nature. To really wrap our heads around what's happening here, we need to define what we're actually looking at. Let's call it the betrayal trap. This is a profound psychological paradox. Nietzsche threw out this deeply disturbing idea that receiving great help can actually lead someone to hate their benefactor. Crazy, right? But why? Well, because receiving creates a debt, and debt profoundly wounds the human ego. Think about it. When you step in and help someone in a massive way, whether that's professionally, financially, or emotionally, you instantly shift the invisible balance of power in that relationship. Suddenly, you're the one who can, and they are reduced to the one who needs. And in the human mind, that creates this unbearable, simmering tension. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark, almost tragic disconnect between two people experiencing the exact same event. I mean, your intent as the helper is pure, right? It's noble, it's supportive, it's selfless. You're just trying to be a solid friend or a loving partner. But over in the recipient's reality, unconsciously accepting your help means swallowing a really bitter pill. It means having to admit to themselves, I wasn't capable, I'm dependent, I'm inferior. Look, helping someone is a beautiful act, absolutely. But for the person on the receiving end, it often creates this invisible, internal humiliation that they simply cannot process. And that brings us to the real core of Nietzsche's observation, the heavy burden of the invisible debt. See, Nietzsche talked a lot about something called the will to power. And don't worry, this isn't about ruling countries or anything. It's just that fundamental core human need to feel strong, autonomous, and capable in our own lives. When you step in to help someone during their absolute lowest moment, their will to power gets completely crushed. But it's actually worse than that. You become a permanent walking witness to their ultimate weakness. And human beings, we are incredibly fragile. Some people just cannot stand the fact that you've seen them so vulnerable. They owe you this invisible emotional debt, and they feel like they can never, ever repay it. So what does a person actually do when they're suffocating under an emotional debt they can't fairly repay? Well, first they get embarrassed. Then comes the guilt, followed by this overwhelming sense of inferiority. And eventually, all those messy feelings curdle into pure, unadulterated resentment. It's a really strange psychological defense mechanism. As Nietzsche famously put it, the weak man transforms his powerlessness into morality. Basically, they can't handle the discomfort of feeling weak, so they reject the source of that discomfort entirely. They desperately look for someone to blame for how terrible they feel inside. And the easiest, most convenient target for that blame? Yep, you guessed it. It's you, the benefactor. They literally convince themselves that you're the bad guy, just to justify their inability to handle their own powerlessness. And this brilliantly illustrates our next concept, the mirror effect. Because sometimes your help doesn't just solve a problem, it highlights a deeply uncomfortable truth. It shines a massive spotlight on the difference in your statue.